Hello, Garden City. Wow. It's a beautiful day in Savannah. And you all look like you're ready to win an election. Somebody ought to fix that. Listen, I've been traveling all across this state, but I'm always grateful to be home. Through pleasures and palaces though we may roam, be it e'er so humble, there's no place like home. And I want to welcome to the coastal city my brother from another mother. What about the next senator from the great state of Georgia, Jon Ossoff? I'm deeply honored to be running alongside him. He is deeply committed to the work that we must do in this moment. And I want to welcome to the coastal city a person who has long served the people, first as an attorney general and then a United States senator, and now the next vice president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. I can't wait until this graduate of an HBCU Howard University, I'm going to give you your props. I can't wait until Kamala Harris gets to be the deciding vote in the United States Senate. Now, the only way that happens is you have to make sure that you send Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff to the United States Senate. Are you ready to make that happen? Now, can I talk to the folks in my hometown, the coastal city? You know why we're here. Hear me clearly. We are counting on you. We need Savannah to show up like it's never shown up before. Do you believe we can do that? It's getting late. Election day is Tuesday. It's almost midnight in the garden of good and evil. And the ghosts of cynicism and indifference and division are trying to win the day. But I've got a feeling that the coastal city is ready to stand up and send one of its own to the United States Senate. It's been 150 years, 150 years since we've had a Georgia senator from Savannah. Well, I think it's about time. So call everybody you know. That's right, Lottie Dottie and everybody. I got some folk down here who haven't been able to worship in person in church in a long time. My amen corner's right here. But call all of your family members, call your friends, call the folk you like, call the folk you don't like, but you're trying. Call the folk who owe you money and tell them what I really need you to do is to vote. It's so critically important. Savannah can make the difference in this election. Now, we did an amazing thing on November 3rd, Georgia. The rest of the country didn't see you coming. And we want to say to them, welcome to the new Georgia, welcome to the blue Georgia. But here's what we cannot do. We cannot afford to rest on the laurels of that achievement. It's going to be close. And Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, Garden City, Georgia, can make the difference. And I'd be deeply honored if the people in the city where I was born and nurtured and raised would be the defining city in this election. Are you ready to push us over the top? Now, I'm asking you to do this, but I'm very clear. I'm not asking you to do this for me because this election is not about me. It's not about John Ossoff. It is about access to affordable health care. It is about a livable wage. It is about the dignity of work. It is about voting rights. It's about civil rights. It is about saving the planet, about clean air and clean water. It is about the work we must do in this moment. My name is on the ballot and on the bus, but this is about you. It's time you had a senator who's thinking about the people of Georgia. And I promise you, Savannah, you send me to the Senate, I'll be thinking about you every day. I'll wake up with Georgia on my mind. Because I'm home. You know, when you're growing up, you take the place where you grew up, you know, you take things for granted. I thought the rest of the world was as beautiful as Savannah. The older I get, the more I appreciate this city with its verdant town squares and cobblestone streets, oak trees 200 and 300 years old, bending over the street with Spanish moss, making them look like old griots, beckoning the lover of history and horticulture to this city. This is where I started. I am an example and an iteration of the American dream. I was born in poverty. One of 12 children in my family. Clearly my folks read the Bible, be fruitful and multiply. And they took it very seriously. I'm number 11 out of 12 and the first college graduate in my family. I often say that I went to Morehouse College on a full faith scholarship. That means I didn't have enough money for the first semester. Is there anybody who went to college like me on a faith scholarship? But somebody gave me some Pell Grants and some low-interest student loans. That's good federal public policy. I was an upward-bound student on the campus of Savannah State. where I spent my summers. I graduated from the Saul C. Johnson High School. But through hard work, grit, and determination, I was able to go on to college and earn several graduate degrees, including a PhD degree. And then 15 years ago, I returned as the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Martin Luther King Jr. served, and the spiritual home of John Lewis. And now I'm running for the United States Senate against the wealthiest member of Congress. Only in America is my story even possible. I was with my mother earlier today. She's 82 years old. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is? Waycross, Georgia. Then in the 1950s, she spent her summers as a teenager picking somebody else's tobacco and somebody else's cotton. But because this is America, the other day, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator. And I'm running for the United States Senate because I believe in the American promise. I know that it is alive and well, but it is slipping away from too many of our children. And if you send me to the United States Senate, I will never forget that little boy who grew up in Caton Homes housing projects. I'll be standing up for him and for all young people, not just in the urban environments, but in rural towns all across Georgia, young people and struggling families who need a chance. You will have a United States Senator who's thinking about you. And so you must show up. Make some noise if you've already voted. Now, if you have not voted yet, that's all right. There's still time. It's okay. Just show up on Tuesday. Election day. Make a plan to vote right now. Make a plan to vote. And if you've already voted, thank you. We're grateful, but your job is not done until you tell everybody you know to vote. Send them to votewarnock.com. And there you will know where you can vote, where your precinct is located, and how you can vote. Go to votewarnock.com. But you're not done until you tell everybody you know to vote, because the stakes in this election are too high for any of us to stay home. We've got work to do. We've got to get control over this virus. We've got to get this vaccine distributed safely and efficiently. We've got to get COVID relief to ordinary people. And that begins with the $2,000 stimulus that we should have passed already. We've got to reopen our businesses safely. We've got to get our schools open and our children returned back to a safe environment. We've got to make sure that everybody has access to affordable health care. And we've got to stand up for our frontline workers. We've got to stand up for our health care workers. We've got to stand up for our police officers and our fire persons. We've got to stand up for those who are on the front line. And during this pandemic, we've been calling folk essential workers. Well, if they are essential workers, we ought to pay them an essential wage. provide for them essential benefits. We need infrastructure investment in our country. We need to repair our roads and our bridges. We need green energy and green energy jobs. Since we've got to provide COVID relief, why not put our people back to work, stimulate the economy in the short term and get us ready for leadership in the long term? The 21st century, like the 20th century, must be the American century. And that is the work that we can do and we must do. But we cannot do it if we are divided. There are folk right now who are trying to divide us. People who have no vision traffic in division. They don't know how to lead us, and so they try to divide us. And that's what's going on right now. I'm running against the unelected Senator of Georgia, Kelly Loeffler. She was appointed. It's clear that the people of Georgia are disappointed. Have you noticed that she has not even bothered? Have you noticed that she has not even bothered to try to make a case for herself? She has not even made a case for why she should be elected to that seat. And that's because Kelly Loeffler knows that she's got a lot of explaining to do. She's been there for 10 months, and she's done a terrific job enriching herself. When she heard about the coronavirus pandemic, she wasn't thinking about the folks who were sheltering in. She was busy sheltering her investments. And then when it came time to give ordinary folk $600 in unemployment insurance, she said that she, quote, saw no need, that it was counterproductive. I guess it was not counterproductive for her to profit off of the pandemic. Who does that? Who profits off of a pandemic? Where do they do that? I'm from the hood. We say, where they do that at? Profit off of a pandemic. And so because she knows that she doesn't have a case to make for herself, she's been busy trying to malign me. She's been busy trying to make you afraid of me because she's afraid of you. She's afraid that you understand that she's been using her office to enrich herself. And so have you noticed she spent the whole campaign running the most negative campaign in Georgia history? She's been busy, as we say in church, calling me everything but a child of God. Lying on me, misrepresenting my record. We say in church, scandalizing my name. But that's all right. My mama told me that it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And in just a few days, she can call me Senator Raphael Warnock. I am running for the Senate. It is a continuation of my life's work. I was talking about health care before I was running. And when Georgia refused to expand Medicaid in this state, I went to the governor's office and I said, Mr. Governor, you must expand Medicaid. And I and other activists organized a sit-in demonstration in the governor's office, and the Capitol Police came and they said, you've got to get out of the way or we'll have to arrest you. What they didn't understand is that I had already been arrested. My mind and my imagination had been arrested, had been captivated by this idea that if my neighbor is uncovered, then I'm unprotected. And so they carted us away that day. I wasn't mad with the Capitol Police. They were doing their job. I was doing my job. And then in 2017, when they were giving a $2 trillion tax giveaway to the richest of the rich, I went again to the U.S. Capitol. And because I had not been elected a U.S. Senator yet, I made my argument in the rotunda of the Capitol. And again, the Capitol Police came and they said, you can't stay in the rotunda. I wasn't mad at them. They were doing their job. I was doing my job. And they said, we'll give you 3 warnings and then we'll have to take you away. And they took us away that day. Well, I've got a feeling that in a few days I'm going to meet those Capitol Police officers again. This time they will not be taking me to central booking. They can help me find my new office as the next United States Senator. And so, Savannah, Georgia, we've got work to do. Don't sleep through this moment. Let's get the job done. My daddy used to wake me up every morning at dawn. He said, boy, you can't sleep late in my house. Get up. Get dressed. Put your shoes on. Get ready. I said, Dad, get ready for what? It's Saturday. He said, I don't know. I'll tell you about that later. You just be ready. Whatever it is, just make sure you're ready. Well, I'm glad my dad told me to be ready, because in this defining moment in American history, I want you to know that I'm ready. I'm ready to be your next United States Senator from the great state of Georgia. And so let me ask you a question, Savannah, Georgia. Are you ready? Are you ready for affordable health care? Are you ready to make sure everybody has a livable wage? Are you ready to stand up for our children? Are you ready to get the job done? Well, get up and get dressed and put your shoes on and get ready. Because if we fight together, if we stay together, if we vote together, if we pray together, if we show up together come Tuesday, we will make history together, but more importantly, we will win the future for all of our children. God bless you. Get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, get ready.